Good evening. Welcome to your Ass Hurts News Network, coming to you live from the tip top of Cop Tower Square with your host, Sergeant Friday. Sarge, good evening.
Cletus, a monumental moment in mankind's understanding of the universe has occurred today.
Is that right? Would that be constituting breaking news?
It is considered breaking news.
Oh.
However, there has been technical difficulty. There would be a breaking news, Cletus.
There's been a delay in the breaking news.
There's been a delay and an overabundance of such. And the breaking news is astonishing. It really answers a lot of questions, folks. For those that are considering whether we are alone in the universe. It's been discovered that a Texas man admits kidnapping 79 people to anal probe them while disguised as an alien. The man was arrested by the FBI yesterday and has confessed to kidnapping and sexually assaulting several people. So, I think this should be clearly go down in the annals of at least 79 people, right? This sick bastard went after. Now we know, are aliens real? Cletus, what can we conclude here?
That we should be sanctioning Martians for the crimes they're committing against our people.
It was only a matter of time before someone did that. When all of these people talking about being anal probed for fucking decades, finally some guy was like, "That's me. That might be a good idea. I'll dress up as an alien."
Oh, wow.
Oh.
the dumb shit people do.
But it worked 79 times. This guy hit the fucking target, bro.
That's what I'm trying. Like, it's not funny that 79 people got assaulted, but you can't deny the fucking humor in the fact that that what you just said, right? He disguised himself as an alien, and it alludes to he found 79 people that bought that story and said, "Oh, okay, I got ass raped by an alien."
They were probably on TV and everything and didn't know any better.
Jesus.
Right? So I think we've solved the question. Are we alone in the universe? And we better fucking hope so. Okay? Because behaving like that.
As dangerous as we are dangerous as we are to ourselves, I couldn't imagine how fucking dangerous aliens would be.
Oh my God. Or what we would do to them.
Or why the fuck they would come here. Why would they come here when there's news reports of shit like that?
On that third rock from the sun.
Yeah. Now you got this bastard accusing them of doing or dressing up to make people think they're doing that shit. And it's just him.
Should he be tried in an alien court? Latest?
I don't know. I'd say he should be deported because he's technically an illegal alien.
Well, he's disguising himself and actually framing the aliens as anal probes.
He's a fraudulent alien.
So should he have his day in court in front of the aliens?
I mean, I would be okay with them ejecting him from the third rock from the sun back out into space from hence he came.
Wait a second. I don't have this on. There. So, folks, I mean, you heard that news here. Broke to you from your Ass Hurts News Network. And Cletus, it's one of them stories that I think the general audience of YouTube should wrap their head around.
I know the only thing I really I got no lie. I'm completely intrigued by the story, and I really want to see what the disguise looked like.
Why ain't you a sick son of a bitch?
I'm just like I'm literally curious, seriously curious. What the hell did the disguise look like? Because I just cannot make the connection in my head of how the fuck you managed to get this done to 79 people. I don't know.
The finer details of this man's acquired skill, I cannot attest to. No idea.
Oh Lord.
And look at, I'll bet you $100 this guy was a YouTuber of some sort.
Well, I was going to say the 79 people may have been. Oh fuck. Okay.
I'm like, oh my God. What did he say to convince you to go with him? I don't know, man. I don't get I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm saying, in fairness to him, I would be curious as to what the disguise was, because, if it's got, if it's got certain appendages attached to it, then, it may not necessarily be all his fault. This may be a, kind of a thing.
Well, I thought that it would be like I said last night, we may be leaning towards the Inquirer type news station, but rest assured there's probably good info you might find here. This not being any of it, but we live in quite the world, don't we?
We do, because it's funny you say the Inquirer type news station, because I haven't seen the National Enquirer in probably 20 years. I hadn't even noticed it. And but the shit that we see every day reminds me of what it once was when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The world is actually the National Enquirer. It's almost as if you got to wonder, all these people arguing about that collider changing the reality, pushing us into a different time frame or in the same reality. Like when they point out different things about Monopoly pieces that you thought you remembered and what they actually aren't the same thing. Right? Have you ever seen that?
I don't know that I have. No.
All right. Well, there's this thing where you remember that particular guy at McDonald's
you're talking about the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't know how accurate that is. Honestly, I think it's a bunch of plooey. It's a play. It's a play on a play, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
they're telling you what you remembered, and then they're showing you what it really is, right?
Yeah, I can't really argue that.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting to think maybe that's how this guy was able to anally probe 79 people. An awful specific fucking number. Why not 80? That's the number that tells you this dude wasn't going to stop. Right? This guy had no intention to stop. I think after 79, this is like fucking. Oh my God.
And I mean, what's the time span that these 79 instances took place, right?
I don't even know, bro, but after 79, ain't no way you could stop.
Like, is this 79 in one day? 79
79 times, and I'm quitting. No, you ain't.
Wow. Anyway, that's that's something.
Thorium. It was thorium reactor. Was what I mentioned the other night. Yeah, oh man, it's just so hard to get over, bro. It's just a crazy thing. Who needs to even know that guy did?
I literally want to look this up and do some research on this, because that's the craziest shit I've heard in a minute.
Here's the best about that.
I feel wrong for wanting to know more, right? But I can't help it.
You don't really want to find out if this is a true news story or not. Right? Because it's like out there.
Oh, that's a hell of a way to close the day for sure.
The guy's name was, and this guy apparently had a name on Twitter. But
what was it?
I don't even know. It's like, what the heck, man? Irish midget pretended to be a leprechaun. Fooled over 40 women into having sex with him in exchange for his pot of gold. Wait, these are breaking news stories that I never knew existed. I have to present this.
That's a
to the
real
audience.
story. What you just said. Oh my God.
I think these are imperative stories that need to be they need to be seen. All right, where is it? Where is it? All right, so let me go down. We have this. There was a time declared the range was no longer clear while Bigfoot rampaged. So we hold your fire. Look at the dude with the rainbow. I'm gonna make it all better. How is this coming through on StreamYard? Are you able to see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Here's the Irish midget. Look.
Oh my God.
I'm a leprechaun. He looks like that dude from the box of cereal. Catch him.
Oh, that is for fucking real. I thought that was just some smart ass thing that you came up with off the top of your head, but no, you were really reading it.
Irish midget pretended to be a fool over 40 women having sex in exchange for his pot of gold. Oh my God.
Oh, anyway.
So we
and this is on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That may be a more entertaining platform right there. Oh, wow. That's funny.
Dude, it's the best thing going. I mean, there's no business better than bullshit business, right?
Well, we started the day with a story of some shitty story of a mouse on a stick, and we're ending it with leprechauns.
A midget leprechaun. Let's be clear. Holy shit! The dude looked like a leprechaun. How about that? Did you ever see that news report where they draw what looks like the face on top of a stick man, and say this is an artistic rendition of what the suspect looked like from eyewitness accounts? And it literally looked, huh?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Oh, dude, it literally looks like this most ridiculous rendition of like a little kid made a picture of a face, and then they show the suspect they arrested, and it looks just like it. It's fucking crazy. Oh my God, I gotta get that.
The world is a strange fucking place.
What do you call those things, the drawing that they make? A portrait?
Oh, are you talking about police sketches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Police sketch. Amuse the viewers in some way.
Amuse the viewers in some way. I kind of feel like they may need a break for just a second to catch their breath if they're anything like me, because my fucking sides are hurting from laughing at that.
Well, I don't even care if we get a listen. I don't know much about copyright strikes. Okay. I have no concept of what the fuck that's all about. But I don't have any in red or yellow, so that means they're just kind of nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just that it's presenting that you're playing copyrighted content at some point, which I would highly, I would think it's most likely that it's the breaking news music and your intro music and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to share this because I find this to be very amusing, and I'm going to play this video, and I think this will be entertaining for you.
All right.
Police officers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, were asking people to be on the lookout for a man who robbed a store. And I think we do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description. Okay. This is the guy they wanted people in Pennsylvania to be out on the lookout for. He's got a nose and some hair that goes like that, and he was wearing a hat at the time of this particular crime. He's got kind of a chin that comes down to almost a point. Stands about 5 feet 4 inches tall. There it is. Get it for yourself. Oh, and now I'm getting word that police actually caught this guy, thanks to the sketch, no doubt. So here's a picture of the real guy next to the sketch that led to his arrest.
Where's the pointy chin?
It's uncanny, Lisa. The guy on the left is now charged with 2 counts of theft. Is being held in the Lancaster jail. And I say give that sketch artist a raise.
Jesus.
You never seen that?
I've never seen that. That's priceless right there. They should have had that sketch artist sketch up what the alien rapist looked like.
79 victims, bro. Not 80. I can only recall 79 officers.
Wow. Wow.
We live in an awesome time, but somehow we're squandering it away for our need for insane entertainment of some sort, Cletus.
Yeah, it's
I can't put my finger on it, but
is this was a real news clip.
yeah,
This wasn't something like from Norm Macdonald or something like that from back in the day. This is a real, oh my God. That's
you mean
funny.
this picture, dude? Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
yeah, totally. That was from a news channel. It look at it comes from news anchor laughs at word police sketch fail. News funnies.
Wow.
Resembles this guy. It definitely.
Oh, I
looks
see.
like look, you see that he looks like a Charlie Brown character. That's
Yeah.
what the sketch looks like, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I see the resemblance, don't you?
Yeah. The guy on the left looks, the real guy looks like Linus brought to life.
Oh man. Tell you what, I wouldn't even want to be the sketch artist that day. I'd be like, what? All right, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, since it netted results, I mean, you can't criticize work that produces results, right?
That's right. Hey.
That's basically why it's okay to say that Chris killed the kid, as long as it keeps the kid's name out there. Maybe one day, if he's found, then all of that stuff was worth all these false accusations.
Well, it's for a noble cause, right? So it's
Right.
yeah.
We're worried about the boy.
It's not the road we go down. It's where does it lead?
So has Chris sold the concept of sticking a dead mouse on a stick, covering it with your own fucking feces, and then smelling it?
No, but that I know of anyway, because I hadn't researched for a patent, but it's it's a concept that just might work this year. I'm just saying.
Well, even the artist is getting shots taken at him for being so. What did she say here? Generous with his hair. Well, I don't know. I just figured tonight was a night we could fix ourselves. I think we're falling further and further back in the hole of the abyss. Let's see.
I'll be right back, Sarge. Sorry.
I hear her. I'll kick her ass. Well, folks, we took that down. Well, it's still there, but I agree. I think the artist is being very, very generous. What happened to my studio? Okay. Yeah, that was a hilarious moment on TV. That poor reporter, right? Look at this dude. Oh, so what do we got here in the audience?
All right. Sorry about that. I'm back.
All right, that's okay. Where were you? What were you gonna say?
Honestly cannot remember. I got no idea where we were at.
I have no idea where we're at either.
I heard
we were on Chris turned that mouse into a shit snake.
Oh yeah. The biggest question I've got is like how many feet per second do you have to launch that out your ass in order to hit a mouse? I mean, I've seen mouse traps and how quick they close, right? Like, and I mean that's at point blank range. I mean, it's
Some people, though, I don't even want to say this, but some people let gerbils loose up in there. Was it maybe Chris's idea did get traction? Oh my God.
Oh,
I think someone ought to congratulate Chris, or at least thank him for whatever excitement you may have gained from letting loose them hamsters.
well, he
What do you
needs to contact Trey Parker and Matt Stone and tell him he wants his royalties for the Lemmy Wink skit.
Jesus God, can you imagine? Oh my Lord, someone help me.
Yeah, the best part was this. This guy just he starts talking and he's like, "Oh, you don't want me to say anything else?" He's talking to whoever he's in the room with, right? And it's like, fucking wow. I will give credit. At least there were some comments that were like, "This guy's fake. This is bullshit," and blah
Well,
blah blah. So, yeah.
and the stream that it was on is one that's only there for the money. It doesn't care what comes across its feed. As long as you look and you're amused, there's no measurement of what's right or wrong or what's decent or indecent. It's like a reoccurring car crash. The people that are being killed, they're none of your relations. What do you care? That kind of stream, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anything goes.
Yeah.
That's what I get a kick out of a lot of these. Everything should be questioned. No, everything shouldn't be fucking questioned. What's wrong with people? Some questions need not be asked, right? Got the Fight Club. That video is that one scarred me for.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, now I can. I don't know if I cut out or if you cut out.
I don't know. I know I get fiber optic here. I normally don't have internet issues, although anything could happen.
Yeah. It's probably mine.
Well, it might be. You need a cable? How much?
I don't know. I spent my last $9.99 on bacon last night.
That's right.
Actually, Clue did.
You bought it from that flying pig.
Well, it come from the back of the flying pig, but
Oh boy, it couldn't be anything good back there. Jesus Christ. Although, how would you tell which end was which? I've seen that face.
Maybe that's how the alien got caught.
79 times. That's like the dying by the taint that's just never gonna, and the carrot cake. Those are three things I'll never shake.
Well, that's why I'm kind of curious as to how much of a time span this went on across. Because it's like, were you aiming for a fucking number, or was this just like a serialistic type of thing?
Dude, I'd have been laughing so hard after the third person I did it to. I could never do it again.
You said after the third.
Well, I don't think I'd have pressed my luck 74 more times or whatever the hell, 76 more times. Yeah. I might even have went on TV and told the world. Aliens ain't anal probing you. I am. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That's a horrific.
You can't even say that shit with a straight face.
If I was an alien, I'd be pissed off. I might invade for something like that.
Yeah, that's not a probe. This is a probe.
Jesus God. That always disturbed me when people were talking about going up in their anal cavity. I don't know what you're going to find up there that would be of any value. I mean, what the hell are you going to find? I don't even want to know. Don't even answer that. You follow me? Isn't that kind of like the wrong end?
I mean, if you maybe go in prisons, you may find some shit that you may find of value. I don't know. It depends on what you're into, but
I'm just saying that the idea that they anally probe you has always been a little disturbing to me, and I'm wondering, what conceivable reason could there be for that entry point? We know you can swab cheek for DNA, so you certainly don't need to go down to the dirty town, right?
Well, I think
what is down there that fascinates the alien?
I think this guy may, give some merit to a potential hypothesis that it never was alien probes, but this guy and others like him. Just
Well,
saying.
if he 79 tries, 79 successes. Obviously, you couldn't make 80. You got caught. Right. That obstructed the 80. But again, a guy going down a road, he ain't never getting off. And I don't know how he could have kept doing it and not laughing at people. I mean,
Well,
that's just
I would beg to differ. I would say he got off. All right.
I just couldn't carry it out that many times without saying, "Are you that fucking stupid? You really think I'm an alien?" I wouldn't be able to handle it, bro. I'd be like, "This can't be." Oh man, but hey, he's proven that. Yeah. Anyway, Cletus, what else do we got for tonight? We have the title of Fixing Ourselves. I think we've broken ourselves tonight more than fixed. What do you think?
Well, laughter is the best medicine, and I at least feel better than I did. So, yeah, I'd say I'm on the road to recovery. Now, if we can just get the other 5.6199 billion in that same boat, then we'll be okay.
Yeah, well, there was a report that there were protesters pro Palestine and pro Israel arguing and screaming amongst each other, but they all united in the chant "Fuck Joe Biden." That's quite shocking.
Well, that just proves how influential you are, because he obviously adopted your motto about pissing people off.
Yeah, well, yeah, Joe Biden does follow that, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does follow that. It's a tragedy. Well, also too, a couple of things that people. This may help fix people, but when you see nationwide protests all using the same tent, you might want to wonder what connects these people so endemically to the fucking same tent. How do they get the same tent everywhere? I mean, are these organic or are these corporately sponsored protests?
so these protests are going to be, Olympic events eventually.
Well, I
Team
don't think
Palestine brought to you by Columbia Outdoor Goods.
right, and they're pushing this as an argument that's raging inside of America, and it's only raging inside of these protests. People going to pay for their dinner bills aren't worried about Israel and Palestine. And what the point I'm making is the only reason it's a topic is because corporate sponsorship and political sponsorship create these protests. And in New York City, there were arrests, a couple hundred people, and the majority of the people arrested weren't even students on that campus. Yet it represents that this campus is protesting against Israel. It's pro-Palestinian campus. But no, it's not. That's not the truth.
So are you suggesting that the sponsors of these things are influenced by the same people that are influencing the media that picks it up and blasts it everywhere?
And we're too stupid to go after those corporate companies. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. The people that need to be brought to justice aren't the protesters themselves. If in fact they're paid and they're pushing this agenda that the media carries, it's all it's all a criminal conspiracy, and we see it in front of our faces. But what do we do as a group to combat it? Right.
So it literally is like a politician training camp.
Right, and we do, but the problem is we do nothing to counter it. We just read it, tweet it, show each other it's happening, and keep telling it and showing ourselves that look what they're doing, look what they're doing. And even in light of evidence that these are sponsored by your one percenters or whatever the hell you want to call that group, we still don't do anything. We still flock to their phones, we still flock to their clothes, we still flock to their software and their games and we pour our money on them like they're the fucking queen of Egypt. And yet here they are trying to destroy us from within, paying for protesters to create false protests, destroy property, cause divisions among Americans. And what do? We don't do a damn thing.
Well, I guess all we can do is hope that the alien invasion is in the midst of those folks. It might change. They may have an awakening.
Well, given enough time, that guy would have worked his way through the 5.62 billion people on the internet. I mean, he already had a hell of a head start. He had He had a head start no one else had ever started the game with. He had 79 in his pocket. Oh man.
Wow. Wow.
We live in an incredible time where, and I said this earlier in 12 gauges. The Constitution wasn't written for that day. Do you follow what I mean?
I do. Yep.
The Constitution was a promise to the future of what we could accomplish and what we could build. When they said all men are created equal, that was absolutely untrue in that day. Fair enough?
At that time, yeah, no, I'm with you.
So they wrote a document, okay, proclaiming all these rights, and that these are God-given rights. And yet, while this document was being put forward and actually enacted, did we not enslave people of other colors, including Asians and blacks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in some parts of the world, the whites were enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
And so all races, but my point is, what I think what's lost on people is those documents have never been in effect. They weren't written to represent the era in which they lived. They were written as a future.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does.
And here we are in a position to actually create that future. Stuck on these fucking phones and these idiot boxes, which is what television was called back in the day, an idiot box. Arguing over what's happening in Palestine, in Israel, or the Ukraine. Meanwhile, our kids are dropping dead of fentanyl like crazy. We know it comes from China. Why? Yeah. So my point is, we're all so fucked up and caught up in this game that we're helping them destroy everything that we are.
Do you remember back in the day when parents would say television will rot your brain?
Yes.
I wonder what they would say about the internet. It'll lead to alien abduction.
You'll be anally probed. Here's the other thing, too. It says 79 times. I don't know if that was the same person 79 times or 79 different people. What is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I could see it being one chick 79 times. And her just playing along like you're tricking her, right?
Well, I mean, there's really no nothing in there that says anything about a gender of the people abducted, right?
Right. Nothing about gender, or if it was one or one person multiple times, or
yeah.
But it's when you read it, it sounds like 79 different people got anally probed by this guy, and he pretended to be.
Well, he definitely needs
check your asshole.
He definitely needs to create him a YouTube channel. I'm just saying, if he was successful in real life dressed as an alien, imagine how fucking wildly successful he would be on the internet.
Dear God.
That's yeah.
Look at this.
What you got?
I listen. Canada is ahead of the curve, and we do have breaking news.
All right.
And I think that there we go. In reference to climate change, folks, we now have our first observable human victim.
Our first observable human victim of climate change.
Yes.
Canadian becomes world's first patient to be diagnosed.
So, on the argument of whether climate change is real, I think that science is settled. This woman who was featured in the Willie series is actually a victim of climate change.
So how exactly is that?
Well, she has dehydrated, heat stress, diabetes, asthma, some heart failure, no air filtration, and no air conditioning. So if she had air filters and air conditioning that were powered by fossil fuel, apparently climate change would be addressed. But the Canadians are pretty clever people, eh?
Oh yeah.
She was this fat lazy woman was diagnosed with climate change. I don't want the Canadians diagnosing me, for fuck's sakes. Hell no.
Oh, socialized medicine at its best, right there. Uh,
Oh dear God!
did her mouth absorb sunlight? What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put it back. You can see these.
Yeah, I'm
More
looking
more,
more.
like she absorbed the moon.
I was actually thinking she may be a cause of it, right? Because they were well, they were having a problem with methane at one time, and I can only fucking imagine. So
Listen, yeah, I had a buddy that when he sat down in a love seat, nothing was sitting between him and the other any side of that love seat. Do you know anything about a love seat? It's a 2-person,
yeah,
and he would sit in the love seat and consume it, literally. I mean,
yeah,
be all up over it, man. He was
yeah.
a big boy. And that was before we knew about climate change. And I wish he was still with us because, I might have been able to buy him solar panels and help him. I don't know.
uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I could have got him a windmill or something. But it is what it is.
yeah, I used to be a great big guy, and if we had the technology now that we had, or if we back then we had the technology we had today, I would wear fucking clothes made of solar panels, and I would never need electricity again,
Ever.
ever.
You know what I find interesting? I've always thought about this. So this is on the more serious side. This is science.
All right.
So our bodies create electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And so why aren't we able to generate that like at a power plant the way the body does? Horses do it. Every animal on earth produces electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So my question is, how is it we're not able to do that, in an why can't we make an electrical plant based on biology rather than burning shit?
You mean based on chemical reactions?
Yeah.
I think we tried that, and that's what led to nuclear weapons. And we always find a way to fuck up something really, really good, right?
Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Well, see that scientific data brought to you by Cletus.
I'm just saying. I mean, fundamentally, that's what you're referring to,
Right? And you're right. Those chemical processes of
yeah.
We turned it into we did turn it into an electrical producer though, but that is accurate. We also did blow up a few people with it.
We put fusion on the end of a stick and started shaking it at people.
And sniffing it.
Try me, motherfucker.
We want to sniff it. Poop on me, please.
Maybe that's what he was trying to do, right? Maybe he was recreating. It was a figurative scenario.
That's what we're doing with the internet. And I like Megan's comment. People do always find a way to ruin a good idea. It's the first thing people seek out. It's incredible.
Look at the internet. Look at the internet itself. That is proof in the concept or the statement, right? It should have been the information age. And look at what we did with it.
It's been turned into a social media nightmare.
And then when you do find truth, it always comes with fucking trigger warnings and caution and fact checkers that are paid by corporate sponsors.
Or people they'll delete the stream when you say the Ukraine war started in 2014 with a Western power coup over the Ukrainian government that placed Zelensky in power, who favored the West over Russia, and that's what started the war in the Ukraine. Us. Way before Biden got in there, or even Trump. As a matter of fact, it was the Biden and the Obama-Biden administration that started all of that, and all the money laundering, and all the theft, and all the funneling of money for what they claim are freedom funds, or to fight against Russia. That was all done by the Western powers. Putin is completely innocent in this, and his response to that, they tell you his response is the act of aggression. when his response was in response to other Western powers getting the Ukraine to attack border areas of Russia. They were Ukrainian territory that voted to secede to be Russian, and the Ukraine started bombing their own people, telling them they couldn't succeed. Artilleries, tanks, bullets. That's what the war started. And then when we got other nations to annex the Russian military naval leases on the Baltic Sea, other countries, not Ukraine, like Moravia and other Baltic Sea nations that had seaports and they have actual naval lease agreements with the Russian government, they canceled them. And that's when Russia went in and took Crimea, which, just so you know, is the biggest naval base and the biggest seaport on the Baltic. That's what prompted Putin to do. So here's the thing is, all of these facts are out there for people to see. And it doesn't matter who you voted for. When the truth is presented, I think most people would agree we should have nothing to do. We should not have done that. Our government should immediately pull back. And that should resolve itself between those nations. And we should never have changed their government, never given money, never had all these people killed and bombed. And, right? Our government, who represents us, we're the creators of the Ukrainian war. Because we, the people, don't look for the information to tell us the truth. And then when someone like me, and there's many people like me that can share this data with you, give you links to prove that this data is true, we as a people should stand up as one, no matter who you vote for, and say enough's enough. Don't send any of our money to the Ukraine. And the factual truth is that if our government didn't send money, that war would end because the Ukrainians would have no way to fight a war. Right?
Yeah.
And we as a group of people on the internet that have the power to be heard are stuck looking at some guy that anal probe 79 son of a bitches dressed up as an alien. Right? We call into shows and say Chris Proudfoot shit on a mouse, stuck at a stick on it, and then walked around sniffing it.
I'm telling you, when that should be from here on out, Sarge. That should be the Wednesday topic. Wackadoodle Wednesday. I'm just saying.
Wackadoodle Wednesday, and all the positive things we could do with this tool. Listen, the hammer built the world, bro. The internet can make the world. And you want a constitution that's powerful, that works, that other people become the envy of. Well, it's we the people that must make sure that happens, not by voting, but by economically and with our voice as one. I don't care if you believe in God or don't believe in God. I don't even know what the fuck is the matter with people that have to make that an issue. So what? You're different than me. I believe in God and you don't. Okay, great. But do you know we're the ones responsible for the war in Ukraine? Did you see this information? Why did the government hide this information from us? My point is we can work together on shared beneficial topics in spite of our differences. Oh my God, you're black. Oh my God.
Well, they didn't necessarily hide it. They just distracted us, made us all, want a double minimum wage or demand higher wages, and make issues of a bunch of other shit that doesn't really matter. All while they stand there spending $61 billion waving the Ukrainian flags, making more pigs of war fly. I'm just saying.
And we as a people, we universally can agree we don't want our money going to foreign wars. I don't think that's an objection between, I think the majority of Americans, and the ones that object would be a minority, a big minority.
Yeah.
Right? So it would probably be 70-30 or 80-20. That's what I mean, that big of a difference. And yet we just never really have, even when you look at these crimes, there's never any reasonable discussion about the facts and then move on to a new case. Instead of that, they come up with some guy that's got Chris sniffing dead mice covered in his own shit stuck on a stick.
It's really interesting, the minority versus majority concept, right? Because, 10, probably not even as much as 10 years, but over the last 10 years, I know there's been a heavier push on, you can't disagree with a minority or you're a bad person, right?
You're a racist.
They throw some type of label at you for that. No matter what minority it is, right? You're homophobic, you're a racist, you're whatever. And at the end of the day, I have to look at that and think, is it because they create this so that we we pay more attention to the minority mindset, so that when they throw shit that none of us will fucking agree with, and they find 2 out of 400 million that say yes, this is the way, we are too afraid to argue with them.
Well, I don't think we're too afraid to argue. I think the point is that what they're throwing out there shouldn't be up for debate.
Yeah.
You believe in abortion and I don't. The laws are the laws, and we both have to adhere to them. I don't understand how that's so difficult to accept. Did you follow me?
No, I do. But what I'm saying
and
is
both sides would rather argue over, the morality of taking them. Listen, that's an issue, but it's not an issue for the people that don't believe in God. You have to accept that. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but you have to understand that there are people that are different than you in big ways. But your common needs in this world and the common goals of all of us have more importance than your differences. And they've created these arguments to reinforce the differences. Israel against Palestine, free the Palestinians, free. Let them people sort that shit. It's got nothing to do with you and me, right?
I don't disagree with that.
And over there, they're doing the things that the Israeli, the Jews are this, and the Muslims are that, and they got their own little propaganda game they play with their people to keep their people fighting each other so that they don't go after the billionaires that are the rich, the kings and the queens, right?
Yeah.
And we have the power of the internet to snap that cycle. Because the kings and the queens don't have to come out here to talk to us. We don't have to listen to them. We can look this stuff up. The information is always going to be out there. And instead, we would rather, like with Sebastian, I think the Sebastian case, the hope all rests on that photograph. Is that him? Right? And we should be with bated breath waiting to hear the outcome of that.
Yeah.
Maybe even get Nick Barris to try to follow up on it, that scumbag. Something.
Well, I mean, he was the first one to claim that it's bullshit, right? He was the one to announce to the world that it's highly likely it's AI generated. So,
Well, it's oh, I'm eating ice water tonight. No soda. And I'm drinking
soda.
water and eating no soda.
Yeah.
Weird.
How's your finger?
My finger is there's discomfort. That's it. Only when I pay attention to it. Like for daily routine, nothing. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's on the mend. It's almost mended. Let's just say that. Close to being fully mended. And the doctor telling me where to put it was completely inaccurate in the process of mending it. I thought that was rude, but I probably deserved it. But see here, I want to say this. We have the power to manipulate too, Kendra. What she's saying is just switch these words out. People have figured out the media has a power to manipulate the masses, and the two-party system is two sides of the same coin. Will solve nothing. People are aware of that, but what they're not aware of is we do the same things to ourselves. And the only reason they're allowed to manipulate us is because we participate in it. That is the undeniable fact. We do this to ourselves.
Well, and I'll one of the topics specifically on YouTube that I hear talked about a lot in the background is, the artificial words or the new words, right? Everybody wants to say things like unalive instead of murdered, right? Things like that. And it's like, at the end of the day, they can only demonetize so many videos before they start losing money. And they migrate away from things, right? And there's proof in the power of that. If you just say, no, I don't care, I'm going to do what I want to do, and if you can't get down with that, I'm going to go elsewhere. They will mold themselves to fit you instead of you molding to fit them.
Well, if you remember the beginning, I was saying as a group we should go after user agreements. And demand that our privacy be protected, like they're protecting our own kids' identity.
Right.
That if these sites will not agree to that, or these corporations, then we move on. We go somewhere else, and our numbers grow. And that's an example of how something that seems so insignificant, but actually is massive, the spam that you get would almost go away. You wouldn't be spammed because nobody would have your contact information but those people you chose to do business with, you see? And as long as their user agreement protected your identity, that problem would be solved. Identity theft, credit card theft, those issues, and the need for life alert, life lock. What the fuck? I need someone to watch my credit now because someone's going to steal it. Why? Well, that's because these businesses have marketed all your data to all of these fucking people, irrespective of where they are on the fucking scale of decent. A scumbag can hide behind a decent name and then start collecting all these people's names, buying them and trading them amongst companies. And we, as a bunch of morons, don't stand up and say, Twitter, if you don't stop, we're leaving. And if you don't stop, physically get up and leave. And you know, here's my thing. How is your life any less enriched by not going to Twitter? It isn't. You literally lose nothing. But they lose everything. And that's the power of what we have as people. That's and in America, you have this ability to freely talk about this stuff and even freely act upon it.
Well, it's and
nothing.
The industry that exists with user information has completed the cycle, because now there are businesses that not only monitor, but they will go and remove your personal information from the internet, all while you sign more user agreements and allow more companies to sell it to other companies, so that these companies that you're paying to remove it constantly have a source of income.
Right. Yes. It's a circle jerk, and we do it to ourselves.
And we pay for both. We pay for the service that we're signing a user agreement for, and we pay for the service to remove our personal information that we paid them to put out. Yeah.
Listen, here's something else too. I find it interesting. People know, they pay attention to politics, that John F. Kennedy's win came down to the city of Chicago and the gangsters of Chicago. And John F. Kennedy won the presidency because they cheated. That isn't a myth. That's an admitted and known to be true. Okay. And yet, as Americans then follow elections further up the chain, and you get to one where a seated president loses and Trump only lost by 56,000 votes in 5 states, total of 56,000 votes. It's uncanny how little he lost by. When you see that Biden had 81 million and he had 74 million. So you say, how could he have only lost by 50? Because we don't do popular vote. We do electoral. And that gives little states a say. That's why they have an electoral college. It's so that little states have to be campaigned in too, not just the big population states. So the electors are doled out in a way to force a candidate to have to play to a wide margin of states, not people, but areas of the country. That's how it's designed. And so when you have an election where at the very time Trump wins Florida and his minority vote is up 247,000 votes compared to when he ran for Clinton, and he clearly won Florida by more of a margin than any president since probably Reagan. No hanging Chad. You know how close it's been since Bush Gore? Well, Trump blew it out of the water. And the minute that became public knowledge, 5 of the biggest Democratic inner cities in 5 different states all stopped counting and sent everybody home. And there's video footage showing you that they, in fact, never stopped counting, but they chased all the Republican monitors out in 5 states. And in those 5 states is where the election was won. And the difference in what Trump total vote count for those 5 states between him and Biden amounted to 56,000 votes. And if you're going to argue with me that there was no cheating, I suggest that you did not pay attention. You don't know what you're talking about. That it can't be done. Well, it can be done. We know historically it was done with Kennedy. And the fact that we as people don't stand up, and we don't have to do it by going to the White House and screaming. We could do it right here on these computers.
At the end of the day, I don't really need to prove any specific thing. I can look at the past, I can look at 2019 through 2023 and see enough things that make me go, really? Really? To know that I don't really give a fuck. At the end of the day, when you put somebody up that's going to ask me what I want them to do, then I'll care again. But until then, there's not a media outlet one that's going to get my view, my attention, my focus on any of the bullshit, because at the end of the day, corruption is real.
It is. And we as a citizens actually have the power now to communicate amongst ourselves like we never did before, and we can actually change it. And that's really why today I said it was going to be like fixing ourselves, even though we did all them shenanigans early. But it was, right. It was all to focus back down into this particular. Hopefully, people watch it through. That's why an hour is a good amount of time to work with. It's not too long, not too short.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that there just needs to be a movement starts with one person. And even though we have a total of only 52 people watching, we've had hundreds watch these videos. And it only takes a few people from each group of the hundreds that have seen them to start pointing that out and be in a chat room when T-Rev has some goofball come on there and say, T-Rev, what kind of a call? What kind of shit is that? That's filthy. That's disgusting. You should have shut that guy off
and never do it again.
Right, and never do it. And that's how things will change across the internet. Is when enough people decide, in small numbers at first, but you create a clique. People want to be around other people of similarity, or birds of a feather flock together. Horses with no legs, they're kind of stuck with wherever they're stuck. They don't flock in much anyway.
Until you stick wheels on them.
Then you got a car. And you're running mobile. Isn't there a song for that, mobile?
Oh, fuck.
So anyway, that's the show. Cletus, we got 3 minutes. Entertain us for a couple of them, would you?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you tell us the story of one of my favorite stories I haven't heard in a minute, but I would love to hear it again, about your friend's wife and the ear hair issue.
That was incredible, bro.
There may be some people in the audience that have not heard that, and if there aren't, I'm sure there'll be people that'll tune in to hear it at some point.
I got a friend that does a lot of custom work on a car for me, and he's got a friend that actually did some welding for me, and I gave him money for it, but I was appreciative because I didn't know where it was going to get done, and boom, he comes in, he does it. So then, the car guy says, "Oh, you know the guy that did the welding?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, he needs help hanging drying weld. You want to come with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll help." And I go over there, and we're standing in the garage smoking cigarettes, and his wife comes in, and I don't find her to be attractive at all. Okay, and I I'm polite, and she looks at me and she says, "You know you got hair in your ears?" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you need to fix that." As if this was like, hi. She delivered that like this was, "Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you." Like that was just normal to come in and whack someone about maybe having ear hair. What the fuck? Meanwhile, this woman is so grotesquely overweight. She looked like that woman in the bed, but she was actually standing up. She was bursting out of her shoes. Her nail was broke. I listen, there were 800 things I could have whacked this broad with. And I'm standing there thinking, I came here to get fucking attacked and assaulted by this dude's wife when I don't even know these people. And that's another thing she said. It's about time some of his friends come over and help him. He helps everybody. And I'm thinking, I don't even know this guy. He welded something for me. That's my only connection to the guy was that he welded something, right? And I'm like, I come in, I get assaulted. So anyway, that broad needed something cut. I think it was her cut off.
My favorite line that you made from that was, I looked at her like, if we're going to sit here and pick things apart about each other's bodies, we're never getting the fuck out of here.
I'd be there to this day pointing out shit wrong with her. You couldn't cast your eyes anywhere and not see something fucked up about this woman. Talk about unkept, uncouth. Oh my God. So I shut my mouth because this guy, I don't know anybody here other than Steve. And Steve is like, he's waiting for me to start slinging shit back at her, but I didn't. And he said that after we left, he goes, "That's not like you." What? I said, "Well, I don't know these people." And to be honest with you, I said I just felt trapped. Like she had it was her space. What was I supposed to do? And Beaver is this guy is nicer than nice. That's his name. We call him Beaver. And he used to deliver appliances for a local appliance company, and he not only drove the appliances to your home, but he also brought them in and set them up himself. This dude would pick up a refrigerator and carry it. Didn't have a hand truck. This dude is big. And so I didn't know honestly how he'd react if I had this disgusting. I didn't want to get snapped into a whole bunch of pieces, so I just held my fucking tongue. In all fairness, I will admit to that I was intimidated.
Oh,
Well, I need some notes here then. Anyway, Cletus, listen, this has been a joy. We started out wherever the hell we came from, whatever planet, with 79 people molested by an alien. That wasn't an alien.
yeah.
To my ear hair.
I think it's
I think it was a good hour. It was a productive hour. Oh, he hung up. He got me. He got me again. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's where Cletus has retreated to Uranus, and he's going to hang out with Chris to see exactly how that mouse smells 28 years after he did it. And with that, we will say goodnight. And everybody have a good one.